Welcome to Genuine Coder, guys. This is the 7th video in the JavaFX animation tutorial series, and in this video I will show you how to create some complex path using the path transition animation. So this is where we left off. We use the circle, rectangle and polygon, and I'm going to remove that. And in this program in this tutorial I'm going to use the path class. So the path class can be used to construct some more complex paths for the animation, so I'm going to create it. So path equal to new path. After creating an instance of the path class, the first thing we have to set is to add a MoveTo object in the to the path, and that can be added using the path.getElements.add, and we have to add a path element. So the first thing I am going to do is to add a MoveTo element. The use of this MoveTo element is to initialize the starting position of the path. You can consider this as an analogy of drawing with a mouse. Suppose if you want to start drawing from here, and the first thing that you have to do is to make your mouse move into this position. So that's what exactly I'm going to do with this MoveTo class. I'm going to set it to 0 0. Remember that this 0 0 is related to the current position, so I am setting the initial position of the path to the current position of this button object, since we are using this button for animation. We are animating this JFX button. So we have initialized the path, and the next thing we have to do is to add another element to the path. And there are a number of classes available which extends the path element, which can be used for creating path. And let us start from the basics. So there is a class called HLineTo, which will create a horizontal line to the given double point. So suppose I want to create a line to a horizontal point which is 200 pixels before the current position. You will get it more clear when I run the program. So I have added the horizontal line, and the last thing I have to do is to set the path. So transition.setPath. So what's happening is this was the 0 0 position, and it moved to -200 in the horizontal axis. So this HLineTo can be used for making horizontal movements, and in order to make vertical movements you can use the VLineTo, add import for VLineTo. So if the value is negative, it will go up, and if the value is positive, it will go down. Let us run the code for testing. So it is moving up because we have given the value as -200. Let's give that +200, and let's run the code again. So that's right, we got the HLine and the use of HLine and VLine, and let's see what are the remaining components available. So we have already know the use of MoveTo and VLineTo, and there is an option called LineTo. LineTo can be used for making a path to a certain point related to the current position. Suppose if I want to move to 200 in x-axis and 100 in y-axis to a point, then I can use the LineTo option. So let's run the code. So new LineTo, it is moving 200 in x-axis and 100 in y-axis, so we got the point here. So that's the use of LineTo. And there is one more interesting thing, this is ArcTo. The ArcTo takes a number of parameters, so in order to keep it that simple, I'm going to take the code from the documentation. So the 4 minimum required parameters are, when you create node from the constructor, that are the initial position and the radius. I'm sorry, it is not the initial position, it is the final position from the current position. I will explain to you that in a moment. So we got the ArcTo object, and ArcTo.setX is used to specify the end position from the current position. So it will move 50 in x-axis and 50 in y-axis with a radius of 50-50. And instead of adding new ArcTo, I'm going to use that creator object ArcTo. So let's run the code again. So it is making an arc by moving 50-50, and suppose you want to make that a bigger arc, you can go for higher radius, I mean not radius, by setting higher x and y position. So that's it. It has moved to 250 in both x and y axis. So this is the position. So you can try your own parameters or your own values for all these. One interesting path element that is available is, let's add the ClosePath object. So there is a class called ClosePath from the same package, javafx.scene.shape, and this can be used to complete a path or complete a circuit. So by the end of the animation, the button will be in the 250 position, and in order to come back or make it come back to 00, the new ClosePath class can be used. So now let's run the code. So it was here, and after reaching here, the ClosePath animation or the ClosePath class invokes a line that completes the path. So that's the use of the ClosePath. And one more interesting thing that I have to show you is the path.getElements. If you want to make a little more complex path, then you can add any number of path elements you want. Suppose I want to move from 250 to 250, I want to move to 300 and 400, and then close the path. Then I can do that like here, like this. So it's moving here, it went to the 300 and 400, then it is coming back to them. One complex path element available in the shape package is the CubicCurveTo and QuadCurveTo. So let's see what it is. So by having a look at the CubicCurveTo documentation, you can see that it's a cubic Bezier curve. By making a search on Google, you can find the Bezier curve Wikipedia page, and it shows some curves like this. So Bezier curves is a special kind of curve that can be constructed by having a start point, an end point, and one or more control points, or maybe two or more control points. So let's see what is happening. So we will first set the initial coordinates using the MoveTo class, so it will be x and y. Then after having that, you can set the endpoints using the set x and set y, and the control points in between these starting and ending points, which is used for the construction of the cubic curve, can be set using set control x1, set control y1, and the set control x2 and set control y2. I'm going to reuse this one, or from the animation documentation from Oracle, there is an example for cubic curve, and I'm going to use that here. So path.getElements. So I'm going to remove this for a moment, and I'm going to add the cubic curve. So what we have done is we have initialized the starting position to 00 and the end position to 200 and 120, and in between that there is two control points. If you want to know more about the cubic curve, you can visit the Bezier curve Wikipedia page in order to get a better illustration. Now let's run the code. So this is the cubic curve that we got, and in the documentation page we can see that this was the cubic curve, and from here we can add another cubic curve in order to make this entire path. So let's copy and paste this cubic path too. I'm sorry, 240. So that's it. Now let's run the code. Now you can see that that was the first cubic curve, and this was the second cubic curve. This cubic curve too can be used for making very complex and very beautiful paths, but it is a little bit hard to design. One more class that is available here is the QuadCurveTo. It is very much similar to the cubic curve, except there is only one control point, and the set x, set y will set the final position, and the MoveTo can be used for setting the initial position. So that's it, guys. That's how you make complex path using the path class. I hope you like this video. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe for more cool videos. Thank you.